Hello and welcome to the show. Now, when it comes to Forza Horizon 4, I have built many cars. We have run many different races, and pretty much all of the time, the cars are built to the top of a class. They're built to the top of a class, like this Subaru, for example, or S1 class, or B class, or whatever the series, whatever the rules we might be running to. However, what happens if we change that? You see, we've all got used to building cars in Forza's PI system. We've got used to building a top A class car, a top S1 class car, but what happens if we don't? What if we were to randomly draw the PI? For this, I was going to be drawing between 500 and 900, so cars would be drawn somewhere between the top of B class and the top of S1 class, but it wouldn't be a nice round number. Now this should theoretically throw up some perhaps different results. Cars might be built differently. The PI system might work a little bit differently as well, because it's used to being asked to go to the top of a class rather than to the middle of them. The hope was we would get something interesting. Not only were we drawing the PI at random, I also told everyone we were going to build the cars relatively quickly, so we weren't going to have, hours and hours to perfect something, and we all had to build a fresh build. Essentially, we couldn't take a car and modify it slightly that would already run that we knew was good. We had to build something from scratch, and something perhaps a little bit different that we hadn't used before. So, I have built an Austin Healey. The 3000, I've used it once for a car chase, and that is the only time I've used the car, so I figured, why not give it a try with this one? There are all sorts of vehicles, from a Mini Countryman to a Maserati Classic Grand Prix car. There's a Hillman Imp, there's a Cadillac Limo, and a Morgan three-wheel. There's a really interesting selection of cars, and no one really knows quite what's going to work. I have gone for big tyres and rally tyres at that. We have got 285s at the rear on this, which is actually not bad at all for this sort of car. Relatively light at £2,200. The problem? Well, I don't have much power. 180 horsepower is not much. I know the Maserati's putting about 370. There's an XJS in here as well that is putting out over 300. So I'm going to be down on power for the straights, but I am going to turn pretty damn well. We are going to do one dirt and one tarmac race. My hope is I might actually be quite good on the dirt race. Now, I'm going to have the typical problem. I say a typical problem I have. I built this car, it's going to handle quite well. The problem is I'm going to get stuck behind a big pack of vehicles. We can't get beaten by the Reliant. I feel like that would be a tremendous slight on the Austin. The Reliant does look like it's having some trouble through these corners. The party bus is going to lead the way, I think, up there from a Fiat 124. I'm going to try and get some slipstream off of the Datsun. Oh, I might have a bit more straight line speed than the Datsun at least. The Reliant has got a good turn of pace down the straight. The Morgan's all acceleration and no top end at all, as we will go past that. Now, of course, the three-wheeler is very light, actually has a good amount of power, all-wheel drive. Launches off the line like crazy, but it's difficult to drive. And that is not necessarily what you want. Oh, a little bit of lag from the, I apologise, Reliant. I was alongside, he just pinged off the door. I could not do much about that. The Countryman might be quite good on the dirt. That might be a concern, as it is. It's currently blocking the way for everybody. It's turned out this class fairly close. This one, it's weird. Of course, you're used to building cars to a certain PI. You're used to how I would build cars in Horizon, for example. But it is weird what might change, what may or may not work if you stick the PI in a random place, if you like. The limo's still looking not really getting anywhere. They're going to go 3 wide, not quite down the back straight as the Fiat runs out of speed. Ewan missed a checkpoint, that's the Datsun done for. The Reliant struggling a bit. I will run away from the Morgan. And the problem is I will run away from the Morgan here. We'll get to a corner and I'll end up smacking into the back of the limo, I think. I can carry... Even that is slow for me. I can definitely carry more speed through there. The Morgan can't do that. The Jags had a bad time through turn 1 and 2 and 3, and I might be able to sneak up the inside here, possibly. The XJS is difficult to make work at the best of times. I can't build a good one. There have been some okay ones, but yeah, I struggle to get them working. Still, the VW bus is leading the way from the Hillman Imp. I mean, this is the battle for third, basically. We're in the mix as the Fiat fights with the Maserati. Oh, no, come back. I'm back. I could probably dive bomb, but the problem is where would I go if I did? I could probably get up the inside, but it just wouldn't really be able to go anywhere with it, and would end up clattering into something up ahead. There's a big group of cars fighting. And I guess in some ways I'm kind of okay that we drop back here. It means that I can be as fast as I want through turn 1 and I don't get compromised. The Fiat looks like it's struggling, the 124 looks like it's struggling at the top end down here. Right, let's throw it through this first corner with all of the gusto we can possibly manage. There's been a little bit of bumping. Oh, I got on the curb, I'm sorry, Impega. There was a little... I got on the curb and my car just turned or didn't turn in the slightest. I mean, I'll get clear, but I will be repassed almost immediately, I should imagine. Oh, Impega actually ended up out wide on their own. Through there, we will still get repassed, but by the end of the straight. We've got one more lap to go. It looks like the Hillman Imp is going to have a look at finding a way past the party bus. I think Blakey went across the wrong side of that checkpoint. That's harsh. I thought that car got the checkpoint. Oh, we've driven in way too deep into here. There's going to be one more lap to go. The limo is still in the battle for a podium place here. The limo is surprisingly good in this game. The limo is really, really good in this one, weirdly. It really does work. Here come Mini! Mini, you're a massive car. Punch that hole in the air. I need to follow it. Definitely need to follow it. This is the problem, because that Jag will probably be alongside by the time we brake. Will it be able to do much? I think it'll be too far back. Oh, that's close. Okay, I left that one a little late on the odd braking point. This time we can go avoiding the curb. Get through there, no problems at all. The Mini and Fiat can fight. Problem is, I'll draw alongside. I won't do anything. No, it's going to get stuck. We're going to be stuck. There's going to be nothing I can do to deal with the country. And the problem is, even if I have a huge dive, let's say I can get close enough. Let's say we have a massive dive up the inside into this final corner. I'm always going to get outran towards the finish line. The Jag goes to the outside. Now I have to be super clean and neat and tidy through here. We have carried all of the speed I can muster in the Austin. Oh, it's getting very close down here. I think the contact might end up screwing me out of... Excuse me. Excuse me. This is not very polite. I know the Mini's got a little bit stuck in the middle here. It is going to out-drag us. The Jag's going to get all of us. No. I mean, there was not much space given to me on the inside. I'm just gonna say there was not much space, and what little momentum I had, well, yeah, did not translate. My lap time was okay. I was about a second off. The fastest car, that Hillman Imp, was mighty quick, in fact. The VW Type 2, not bad either. Ah, what a silly end. What a silly end to a very, very good race. So we move to the dirt of the Tarnhouse Scramble for our next race. I'm hoping my car should work pretty well here. It won't be the fastest off the line. That might be a bit of a problem. I expect the... where is it gone? The camper van. That's going to be very fast. I also expect the Morgan to shoot to the lead. In fact, Morgan's in fourth. That will lead into the first corner. But I'm hoping my car will come good later on in the race. I should have pretty good grip out here. We will quickly also see who is on rally tyres and who isn't. Pretty sure Impega's car is not on rally tyres. The Maserati very much is not. I think the Mini isn't, but the Mini is at least all-wheel drive, which will be something for that. I presume that'll be on standard tyres. You won't get much PI to play with in the Countryman. Sure enough, as expected, the Morgan is leading the way, this time from the Fiat, the little 124. Oh, yeah, the Countryman is struggling for some grip in all of that. Can I might actually go straight around the outside at the hairpin. Not sure what tyres the Hillman is on. That might not be on. It might be on rally tyres. I might actually be struggling a little bit out here. We are going to be still stuck on the outside, not having anywhere to go. We'll just sort of latch on to the back of the Hillman, the classic British cars. I mean, if I can have a tow again, I'm awfully slow up this hill. Ugh. Don't know what way to go. No Mini, don't put me in towards the wall. I do not want to visit those horrible, horrible bits of scenery. Now, you will not be able to carry as much speed into turn 1 as me. The problem is, well, yeah, there's a problem. I got stuck on the outside as it slid up into me. I don't know what tyres the limo's on whatsoever. That could be rally. As I said, the limo is surprisingly good as a car to build just in general on Forza. We are having a better... Oh, I don't know where the Hillman went. Something went wrong. Did that fall over? No, it's lost a lot of time. That bump there is notorious for launching cars onto their side and giving them grief. The Morgan is currently leading the way here from the party bus, from the 124. Then we have the Datsun. Blakey's presumably front-wheel drive Fiat. You don't get much PI at all to play with in the 695 in B class. I think that's a low B class to start with. One of the few modern cars, one of only three modern cars, I guess. You count the Cadillac limo in that as well. Again, the Cadillac is generally assumed as a joke car. Oh, Blakey. 695 was doing well. It was the curse. The curse of the commentator is back in full effect. And I fear I've got a little bit of a mid-pack car here. I fear I've got a car that's kind of okay. It's competitive enough to score, to score points, to do well. I can score points if we're doing like a team adventure. Oh! The party bus has nearly gone over. Something went wrong with the Morgan. So that's really brought together this lead pack. Okay. That was a hell of a two-wheeled moment for that. I might have missed a checkpoint in all of that. Or actually, by the looks of it, they might have had a controller disconnect or some technical difficulties. Leathercap hit the bump on the outside through there. That's problems for the Morgan. I thought that was going to get going quicker than it did. That's my bad. I thought it was going to sort itself out and just go, and I turned into the corner and already committed, and once I've done that, I'm not really able to have time to react when it suddenly isn't moving. I mean, it hasn't really cost that car any more time. It's cost me. It's cost me the most time there. Oh no! I can't make the most of my... And I have to. Again, it's that horrible thing of I have to make the most of my car in every single corner. I cannot afford not to, pretty much. I'm going to see anybody else fall over on the lucky dip. Not only have we got randomly assigned PI, it's the lucky dip who might fall over on the bump session. So far, not me, which is weird. That's not normally how things go here at FailRace, but so far we're on the outside of the hill, but we get so much speed around these dirt corners. And then we're going to come to this hill. Will the Morgan get trouble on the bumps there again? No, not quite this time. We've carried the momentum on the outside. We will make that pass stick eventually. Ewan has got to lead with the Datsun. The Datsun that... I mean, it was struggling a little bit at Bamborough Coast, then missed a checkpoint that didn't help matters. But this is the joy of this. I think the camper van was certainly going to be fast. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm sorry. I've eaten a Morgan. Okay. Didn't expect that. Did not expect things to quite go that way. Sorry, Leathercat. I do apologise. I think that might actually cost me a chance at third, though, in all of that. Unless there is any falling over shenanigans to go in this, I suspect that will probably be my shot at third gone, because I needed to actually be quick through that section. We are pulling away from the Hillman Imp now. I think we might be faster slightly than the 124, but we certainly won't get a chance to find that out. We've not got the pace to match Ewan's Datsun. That thing is gone. That thing is long, long gone up at the front. Can we be sneaky through? It's not quite the penultimate corner. We've kind of got this uphill bit. I can't be sneaky. I threw it at the inside. It wasn't going to be enough. Nope, I think the Morgan's got us. It will run out of speed a little bit down here, but it's not a long enough straight to run out of enough speed for me to pass it. The Morgan will get third. We will have to settle for a fourth position. A good race. A good race, lap time wise. 101.4 from me, which is pretty good. Similar to the Caddy limo, but it's the VW that gets fastest lap in the race. That thing is monstrously fast around here. I think it might have had a controller disconnect because that stopped after its near-death experience. Or maybe they just needed a new change of underwear. I'm not sure. Either way, that climbed back up to 7th regardless. That thing was monstrously fast. And Datsun was very, very good. I probably had, the third fastest car in the pack. Well, so far, random PI racing. Throwing up some very, very interesting results. There's some really very good races along the way. So, for our second round of this, a new PI was drawn, and that came out as 829. This would mean we'd have a relatively low S1 class car to build. I have gone for an Audi, the RS4. I've never built one of these before on this game. That's kind of what we were trying to do with this, to make sure everyone kind of built cars from scratch that they've not really used before and see what would happen. I think the grid just shuffled around. Am I going mad? Either way, yeah, I built an RS4. I figured it would be probably quite good. We'll have the all-wheel drive and the rally tyres for the off-road bit. It shouldn't be too bad on the tarmac stuff. It doesn't have as much power as some cars. Oh, we have a little bit of understeer as well. It doesn't quite have as much power as some cars, shall we say. While I have 500, just over 500 horsepower in this, which is not a bad amount of power whatsoever, there are some vehicles with getting towards 1,000. I don't quite know how much the Bronco has, but I'm going to hazard a guess at quite a lot. Somewhere up ahead is a Honda Ridgeline that is rear-wheel drive, but is putting out 800-900 horsepower. Oh, there's some lag going on, and I'm going to have to kind of back out of that on the outside for now. There's an Evora that's going to get stuck in traffic behind us, I suspect. It looks like a Sunbeam that's leading the way. We are going to fall into line a little bit through here. I want to try and get past it. I don't really want to get stuck behind the Bronco for any longer than, I say, than necessary. I really don't want to be stuck behind that Bronco if I can help it. Oh, there was a gap, half a gap against the Lamborghini. Not quite far enough alongside. Okay, straight line speed, top end speed for the RS4. It's a little bit down, but it's not the worst I've had to deal with. That is good news. It's not the worst I've had to deal with in terms of top end, and it's actually pretty good in the corners. Audis in general have been difficult to make work in Forza games in the past. The four-wheel drive has tended to give them so much PI that they're very difficult to get to work outside of that. It can sometimes, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I've struggled to build them, but this one does seem pretty decent, actually. We are going to hopefully dispatch the Lamborghini here. Try and be brave on the way in. Oh, this is going to take out the rocks. It's not where you want to be with any car. It's a big dive. The Honda is so much earlier on the brakes than the RS4 through that section. Honda was so early on the brakes compared to the Audi. It will probably beat me in a straight line. I think the aero limitations of that big truck are going to be a thing, although let's not forget, we will be going off-road, and then that'll probably be quite good. We've actually got a Hilux to the lead. The Hilux has taken the lead of the race away from the Talbot. Liam driving Cayman, I believe that would be, is catching up to that group. I'm catching up to all of them here. I think we actually stand a pretty good chance. If we don't win, I think we may have the fastest lap of the race here. We get such a drive out of turn one. Got mega drive out of turn one. We have got a pretty good compromise here between handling and straight line speed. We out-muscle the Porsche down the straight. We out-handle the Hilux through the corners. The Sunbeam's mighty fast down the straight, so I imagine that's quite a handful. S1 class, don't know what engine would be in that, but it's probably getting 400 or so horsepower in a very light car. Rally suspension by the looks of the amount of body roll we have going on there. Will we have the time to find a way past? That is the question. The Hilux shifts down these straights. God, again, who knows how much power that thing's going to have. The answer is, I suspect, an awful lot. So they have acceleration on me, but they can't beat my top end. I guess they either run out of power or are aero limited down here. Don't miss a checkpoint, because this is a real chance for the RS4. Can we throw it up the inside into this corner? Yes, we can. I get it stopped. The Sunbeam cuts back underneath, as is fair to do so. It's a good, as I said, sensible piece of driving. I think Liam missed a checkpoint at turn one. That's where you always miss a checkpoint around this track, because the Cayman was behind. Oh, Speedbeast tried to cut underneath the Hilux, missed a checkpoint. All of that hard work undone for the Talbot. It comes down to me versus a Hilux. I've already dive-bombed one truck into here. I've got a lap. I've got a lap to set it up. Where am I going to do it? Turn one, maybe? I know the Hilux runs out at top speed. It has me on initial acceleration, but it doesn't have me on ultimate top speed down here. And because this is quite a fast corner, we might be able to give it some trouble. Here comes the RS4. I might even get it done before turn 1. If I could, that would be preferable. Around the outside of the final corner, miss the wall on the inside through there. The RS4 is to the lead of the race. Don't miss a checkpoint now. The Hilux has a big dive. I was a little bit cautious through there because I knew I didn't want to miss a checkpoint. The Hilux will get to the inside. It does do it. I didn't think it would have the grip to make that work. It has got a good amount of grip. That's annoying. I thought we were... should have been just that smidge braver into turn 1. I know where we're going to have to go. I know the Hilux also knows what I'm going to do here. Hilux knows the plan. It knows exactly what I want to do through this corner. It might not actually have any option. It's not even going to be able to get across to defend because we will move the car across. Oh, we get a little bit nudged. I don't think it'll matter because we'll outdrive it towards the next turn. We are ahead of the Hilux now. Defend our way into there. The problem is we've got to not take 2 defensive lines, otherwise we will lose speed ourselves. I think we are out of the last corner. The Hilux doesn't have an answer for the RS4. We will run away from the pack. The Audi takes victory. I like this RS4. I mean, it's built completely randomly and will probably never ever be used again, but that worked pretty damn well. Around there we do get faster lap, we get faster lap race by a second in all of that. The Mercedes, the classic race car, will get a podium in 3rd, although to be fair, both the Talbot and the Porsche missed checkpoints and were looking pretty fast. The Honda Ridgeline will take a 4th place in the end ahead of the Evora. Mercedes estate car, the Bronco, the Lego Mini. Unfortunately, the Diablo and Challenger had some technical problems and couldn't complete the race. So, we're going to be heading off-road with our S1 class cars. The RS4 was very, very quick at that previous track, and we are very lucky to be starting on pole. That is, pretty nice, actually. The track we come to, the Greendale Foothills Scramble. I would expect most of the vehicles here to be running on rally tyres. To be honest, most of them will be all-wheel drive. I know the Honda at the back's rear-wheel drive. That is an off-road truck, though. A lot of them are all-wheel drive, so and it won't necessarily be a straight-up massive advantage for me. One thing that the trucks will have that my Audi won't is the ground clearance. There is a water splash on this track. And this is a bit of a nasty circuit. It's a nasty circuit in general. You have a very slow, very fiddly little dirt section followed by a couple of long straights with a very, very tight hairpin in the midst of all of that. So, yeah, getting your vehicle working around here is not so straightforward. The Hilux is definitely all going to give me grief. I've ballsed that one up. Should not have done that. Overdrove that corner too much. Yeah, it might be a battle between me and the Hilux. Unlikely rivals. However, we'll have to see how it goes. How much speed can the Toyota carry through here? Probably not as much as the Audi, although is there any space? It's a narrow road here, and that is a big car. Mine's not a small car, particularly that is a big car. We have got the top end. Do I have enough to defend from there? Oh, that's a little actually too late on the brakes for me there. Okay, just learning the track a smidge at the moment. The other thing is, like, well, I'll defend aggressively on the final lap. On lap 1, I'm not going to do something stupid. If the Hilux makes a mistake, for example, misses the braking point on the first lap, I don't want to get clattered into. Whereas on the final lap, I'm not going to leave the door open like that one. I was actually expecting to be pulling on the Hilux more down this start-finish straight. We are now starting to go. I was getting about 140, 150. All of the power in that is not enough to keep the big brick shape cutting through the air. I mean, I have got Forza Aero on my car. Yes, it's a bit ugly, but in this class I'm going to want it. Hell, it's often advantageous in lower classes, so of course, when I go up to S1 class, we're talking about 500 horsepower, very, very quick cars going to be wanting aero. We're going to cut back on the exit. The only problem is that I'm again stuck going wide around here. Now, I'm on a very wobbly line there. It almost worked. I got alongside, but I just couldn't get the momentum off of the corner. We're still going to be side by side with the Hilux here, but I don't really want to lean on it through the fast corners. Now we are ahead, as long as we don't visit a bit of scenery. The Mini is having a much better time around this track. Let's not count that out entirely. That Lego Mini is holding on very well around this circuit. That time we get the Audi stopped nicely for the hairpin. Let's keep running away The Leathercap's got the Challenger, I believe it is, up in 4th place. We sadly didn't see that run in the first race. I think there's a lag out that caused some issues with the grid order. The Mercedes is, funnily enough, not enjoying this track. The classic Mercedes is down at the back. Likewise, the Porsche Cayman is down the order. Possible rear-wheel drive car, that one might be struggling with the dirt section. The Hilux gets a really good run out of that final corner, which is mildly alarming. Let's get ourselves stopped for turn 1. I think we're slightly better on the brakes than the Hilux. We have got a tiny advantage on the brakes compared to that Toyota, which is nice. It's nice to know if I have to be defending, we can probably be that little bit more aggressive. I do think we have the car to beat overall here. It's actually working very, very well out on the dirt. The Minis had a little bit of a worse lap. The Minis fallen back a touch in 3rd. Let's just get ourselves onto the tarmac and go for it. These kind of corners is where we shine. That sort of higher speed turn, that's where the Hilux just is all that weight. There's so much weight, there's so much suspension travel going on. Yes, I've got to look at it go in the background. Some big slides from the Hilux. Yeah, it's got so much weight moving around, so much suspension travel. Yes, I have rally suspension on the RS4 here, but that is... Oh, that's the wrong gear. 2nd is what we want out of there. But it's nothing compared to the lifted up truck. In fact, that truck might come under threat from the Mini before the end of this. Oh, I messed up that corner a little bit. Yeah, I've messed up that entire sequence, actually. Never mind. We're out the other side. That's going to have lost some ground. What was in 4? Oh, Chris is in the Mercedes. Oh, that's doing quite well, actually, around here. But another estate car. If we could get another estate car on the podium, that would be good. There's only 2 estate cars, so if we could get 2 estate cars on the podium, I would be pretty happy. Yeah, that Mercedes, the Top Gear Mercedes, is actually surprisingly quite okay sometimes. You can build it to be not terrible. I think there are quite a few engine options as well, if you so wish. For us, it's just going to be go for a fastest lap in the Audi. Go for the fastest lap, try and pull away a little bit from the Hilux, just in case, you know, we make any mistakes on a final lap. You never know. I'll try not to, but mistakes are easy to make with these sorts of cars. This has been way faster than I thought it was going to be. This Audi, I did not expect it to. I thought it'd be pretty decent overall. I thought this sort of track the RS4 might be fairly good at. You know, all-wheel drive, decent-sized tyres, decent power, not too heavy. It could work quite well on the dirt, but I did not really didn't expect it to... Don't want first gear again, do we? I'll remember that probably by the end of the race. Pega's not having a fun time with the ridgeline. That's just not quite worked, as is the way sometimes. I think that is one thing with these, is you can get some very interesting... You can get some very interesting races, get some very interesting results. Interesting cars can work, but sometimes cars don't. And it is very apparent when cars don't with this as well. It becomes very apparent, and it's some big margins can appear. Or in my case, I just seem to have built something incredibly fast. We have got 2 estate cars on the podium. Now I think the Mercedes might be asking a little bit too much of the Merc to have it catch that car in 2nd. The Toyota is just a little bit too fast. I reckon if we were at the Mortimer Gardens circuit, the one with the big water section, that may well would probably be enough to have lap times similar between me and the Hilux. As it is, the water splash here is just not. It's not a big enough section. It's not enough to slow down the Audi sufficiently. It's like here, we'll make back all the time through that corner that we lose in the water splash, because the Hilux, I had a bit of a wobbly line through there, and the Hilux is still losing ground. It's now almost out to 3 seconds. Not that I would want to, but if we had a little mistake, we would probably get away with it now. We are at that sort of a gap. So that's quite nice. Thank you, Pega. As we go past, we've got the cheerleader in the grandstand as the cars go flying past. We head around the final corner. The Audi is going to reign supreme. It's 2 wins out of 2. The Hilux will get 2 second places out of 2. We were both very fast in this. The RS4 really works. And we were a second a lap faster in that first race. What do we do in this second race? Again, it's about a second a lap faster. Oh, the Mercedes is closer, half a second. Mercedes is closer. Oh, I take it back, actually. The Talbot is up there. The Talbot is up there, but difficult to drive. We do still get fastest lap, but the Talbot almost matched us. It's just a little bit more, I think, uncontrolled, but also got buried in the pack, which is sometimes difficult to overcome. Yeah, I like that RS4. It's easy to drive, very, very quick, works just about everywhere. I don't know whether it would work for normal S1 class or A class or whatever, but I can tell you, at 829 PI, it was really bloody good. And this has been really fun. It's been really interesting. As you know, it's something different. You're building different cars, you're making different things try and work. And while yes, you know, we're used to building cars to a set PI, we're used to building them to the top of A class, S1, whatever. This brings out some different results. You get some different cars, you get some very, very good racing. Just the RS4 is very quick. The one that we did here, what's the wheel spin going to give us? Not bad amount of money either. So, there we go. That is going to be it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.